passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so good for the goal. There's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Hello guys, welcome. Kevin Usman here to another live Q&A. This time we're with Kamaru Usman, and we're looking pretty excited to have this exclusive interview with him. I have a small minor technical difficulty because we're trying to connect with Kamaru Usman at the moment. He has a little delay, so therefore we thought it would be appropriate for us to come online to let you guys know and notify you guys about this. But he and his team is currently working on it so we can get the proper connection, so we can start this live Q&A, because it's very important for us to provide to you guys the content that we promised. So we're gonna try to get to him and his team as soon as possible. Masvidal and Usman already fought the first time. Usman won the fight by decision, so we're really looking forward for him to defend his belt again and go on for the second time. So maybe there are probably some questions or maybe some live Q&A that we can go to. I'm seeing something on my screen at the moment. So probably we're hoping that we can get a connection back with Usman. So sorry guys for any technical difficulties at this moment. So. Yeah, so we're trying. Are there already comments? Are there some questions that maybe we can already hop onto at the moment? I think we're trying to connect with Usman again, so please bear with us and be patient. Yes. Okay, so maybe we can have some questions from the audience as well, and see from some of our live viewers some Q&A, getting this ball started. Just because we're still waiting on Kamaru Usman and his team. And we want to ask, like, did anyone also notice that Masvidal is getting more respect from Usman, old fans? Or do you mean it the other way around? I think it said, anyone noticed that Kamaru Usman is getting more respect from old Masvidal fans? What do you guys think? I think it is. Because mainly at this moment, he defeated Masvidal, so I think he gets some respect from that. So again, sorry guys, we're really trying to bear with us during this technical difficulties. I think maybe we'll have to delay this a little bit. Okay, thank you, Connor, for your reply. All good, take your time. Thank you very much for being very patient with us, because this is not the way we anticipated this to go. But we thought it would be disrespectful not to come online to let you guys know what's currently going on. So we're really trying to get a proper connection with Usman and his team, so he can go on live with us, so we can have this exclusive interview Q&A. And get it started with you guys.
Passion never rests. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so good for the goal. There's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
So hello guys, welcome back. We're trying to get a connection back up and running. Really sorry for any technical difficulties, because it's not the way we anticipated this interview to go. But as you guys can see, so it's really live, so things can go wrong anytime. and we're just trying to get some connection with Usman and his team at this moment. And as soon as we get that going, so we can get the ball rolling for the live interview. So the team are back right now, trying to get the connection with him started. So we have some minor delays. Excuse us for that. Really apology for that. Trying to get Usman back on track. Currently calling him. Trying to get the connection through, so bear with us. Just a sec, trying to get the connection through, so just bear with us. Again, our sincere apologies for making this, for having this delay. So we're really trying to do our utmost best, so make sure this interview really goes on, so you guys can ask your questions to the current UFC welterweight champ. You guys are not hearing it right now, but it's ringing, it's going over right now, so let's hope it goes through. Okay, thank you guys. We're gonna go to another screen, and we're gonna come back very soon, trying to make the connection with Usman, and we're gonna keep you guys updated as soon as possible. horizontal.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! Drama, passion, never rest. Freedom is our teacher under pressure, now we blessed. See, I was so good for the goal. There's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! Yeah, it's one art, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Hello guys, welcome back. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Really our sincere apologies for that. We're now on the line with Kamaru Usman, and currently the welterweight champion of UFC. Could you maybe shift your camera just a little bit to the right, if that's possible? Just a little bit, just a little bit more. That would be great. That would be perfectly in the middle. Yeah, well, thank you very much for joining this interview. We had some technical difficulties, so very embarrassing that it had to happen. And we're really, really sincerely sorry for that. And also for you, our apologies that we had to make this, it was a little bit delayed. So we're just trying to get as quick as possible. We're going to go to the questions. First of all, how are you feeling? How was your fight camp? Elaborate, tell us a little bit.
I am wonderful, everybody. And yeah, people, don't be too upset. It's technical difficulties. We are human beings, and these are computers. So we're learning how to work with computers. So you got to be patient with us with all that. But, you know, we're here. And, you know, UFC 261, approximately 10 days away, feeling great. And I'm tired. I'm tired of training. I'm tired of training. Okay. This is part of the process. This is a time where you get to that point where your body's just had enough and it's just ready to recover and get ready to scrap. So, you know, we're excited. We can't wait. Next Saturday can't get here fast enough.
Good to hear that, man. So you're really stoked. Just another question real quick. Can you move your camera just a little bit more to the right? Because you're not quite in the middle. Just a little bit more. Because then you'll be in the middle of the screen because we're trying to, this is all live. So no, the other way, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all live. So sorry, guys. Yes, this is perfect. Well, we have a first question from Dan Hawk. And it is, what's your favorite UFC win?
My favorite UFC win, I would have to say Tyron Woodley, because it's something that I worked for so long. Throughout my career, or for everybody, let me relate it to everyone. You know, all through life, you work hard for something and you have a goal and you want to achieve something, but you never know when that's going to come. And so for me to get that opportunity and go out there and basically take full advantage of it and do it in the way that I wanted to do it, it's something that I will remember for the rest of my life. And also I got to do it and have my daughter in front of me and do it That's for awesome. Her and show her that this is what I go to the gym for every day. This is why I push hard. This is why I train hard. And so, yeah, that's probably the most meaningful one for me.
Well, here we have another question from Sean Brown. He says, hi, Kamaru Usman. What advice would you give someone probably dealing with injury or setbacks?
What's his name again? Sean? You said his name?
Yeah, Sean.
Sean. What's up, Sean? I would say the biggest thing in dealing with injuries, the human body is it's an amazing tool. And the funny thing with injuries is our human body, we're designed to heal ourselves. So it's just a matter of making sure that you're consuming the right things and you're doing the right things as far as rehabilitation, because injuries is what I like to consider them as. They're just minor setbacks for a greater comeback. And so I've been injured several times. You know, I do my due diligence, take the appropriate time, and I'm back. You know, so I would say just keep your head up, make sure you take your time in rehabilitating yourself and get back to work.
Great answer. Yeah, well, pretty interesting answer. Well, we have a question from Connor. He says, Kamaru, what is your your walkout song for Saturday? Will it be the same walkout song that you had in UFC 245?
Connor, Wonderful question. That's a very, very, very good question. One thing about me is I don't want to say I'm superstitious. I'm not superstitious, but I am a routine individual, and my
Okay.
routine is I don't tell anybody my walkout song. I just let everybody
Okay.
hear it once I walk out. So even my coaches don't know my walk. Even my brother doesn't know my walkout song. He has to just experience it when he's in there in the arena.
And would you say you know your walkout song a few days before, or is it really something planned way before, or is it something you just like kind of freestyle or do or make a decision on the spot?
That's also a good question. It's my mood changes each and every day, and so especially when approaching a fight, um, I try to replicate in my head. I try to envision that moment each and every time before I walk out, and I try to put myself in the right mind frame that I want to be in when I go out and compete. Because I don't want to be too excited. I don't want to be too anxious. I don't want to be too happy. I don't want to be too sad. I don't want to be too emotional, period.
Okay.
So my mood changes each and every day. So when the fight gets closer and closer, whichever mood day that I feel like this is the type of mood that I want to be in during that fight. Whichever song I'm rocking that day is probably gonna be what I want to end up walking out to. So it varies. As you guys may know, if you guys don't know, my Instagram, I got a plethora of songs that I listen to. So you guys just gotta be patient and wait for it.
Okay, Abdullah just joined the Q&A and he asked, whenever you beat Masvidal, if Leo beats Nate, is he the next fight to make? And how does the matchup from the first fight? I think he means, yes, it's a double-loaded question, but what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, potentially, yes, he could be next. It just depends. At this moment in my career, each fight now I have to really think about whether I want to continue to fight, whether I want to continue to do this, because these guys are great competitors. They're tough dudes, but I've put myself in a different category when it comes to fighting all these guys. Like I've said, I'm like a marathon runner. I've passed up everybody. Now I'm about to lap them all again. And so, yeah, Leon could be next. He's improved a lot. He's very, very tough fighter. And if he comes out and does something incredibly impressive that motivates me to where I'm like, oh, I gotta feel that again, then yeah, absolutely, he'll be next.
That sounds pretty good. Well, Miles has a question, and he says, "What's up, champ? What do you do on a daily basis to keep yourself disciplined, whether it's for fight training, diet, or motivation?"
What's up, Mouse? Good question. For me, it's just a mentality that I approach everything with. Nothing in the world is greater than my will to achieve what I want to achieve. I don't care what it is. Nothing in the world is greater than my will. So if I understand that I have a fight coming up in 2 weeks, and in order for me to be in the best physical, mental, and emotional state for that fight is by me making sure that I'm eating properly, I'm sleeping properly, I'm hydrating, I'm recovering properly, then that is my focus. Nothing else in the world gets in the way of that. I don't care if they're like, oh, this is coming up, this is happening. Hey, you just won $5 million. I could win the lottery tomorrow. I'll be happy, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't change the task at hand. And so I would say just my will. My will is greater than anything.
Yeah, because I think just a personal question. Like I think now currently you're not really focused on just winning the fights. I think it's like now really building your legacy. Would you say that's correct?
Absolutely. For me now, it's what people don't understand is one of the hardest things in the world is becoming champion. That's hard. It's very, very hard. you know. But the challenger always has an advantage because that's all they have to do is just train. They're at home training for one guy. They see one goal, one person up there, and they're just training for that one guy. And as the champion, you have to train for everybody. You are worried about everybody because they're gunning for you. And so at this moment in my career, it's just about me going out there and being spectacular in what I do, in the way that I do it, putting these guys away and really putting a definitive stamp on it that, hey, I am up here and you guys are battling down here to try to see who might be able to jump up there and challenge.
That's a great mindset. Well, question from Toby. He says, when are we going to see your younger brother Mohammed in the UFC?
Toby, that is a fantastic question. My younger brother Mohammed Usman, the motor, he currently he's signed to PFL, Professional Fighters League, and they have obviously the heavyweight tournament there. He's chasing $1 million. And so my little brother said, yo, I want to go get $1 million first before I come into the UFC and cause some problems there. So, I would say maybe as early as maybe next year or the year after that, he might be coming into the UFC. But he's got a phenomenal contract right now with PFL, and he's looking to go out there. He's actually quarantining the same day. We both leave on the same day for our fights. I believe he fights May 6th or May 7th. And he begins his journey on the big stage.
Okay. So really looking forward to that. And would you say you guys also train together, or how would you categorize that?
Yeah, right now we actually we both train in Denver. We don't necessarily train together. We do spar together, and at the same time, we spar, and then the bigger guys come in right after us and spar in the same location. So we both train here in Denver, but he's got a different set of coaches. To where for me, my coaches are Trevor Whitman and of course George Santiago. To where his coaches are Vinny and Cody Donovan. Excellent coaches. Those coaches are more geared for him because they work with bigger guys like Curtis Blades, Alistair Overeem. So he's with some of the best coaches that can assist him in becoming the best that he wants to be.
Okay, we have a question from Colin. He says, what are you going to do differently compared to last time you fought Masvidal?
It's my body. It's last time I fought Masvidal, I was dealing with so much, and of course fighters, we don't ever like to give up what we're dealing with or the problems, but my nose was shattered in 2 different places before that fight. The last week and a half before the first fight, in the last week and a half, I couldn't take a punch to the face. I had a full face mask on so I don't take a punch to the face. And I don't know if anyone's ever had a broken nose. Even if the wind goes past your face, you're like, oh, you're afraid of being hit in your nose. So I had to overcome that, and I had a serious problem with my big toe. I had to overcome that as well and fly all the way across the world, make weight in 6 days, and have to fight this guy. And so I think this time around, I actually get a little bit of time to actually focus on him and put together in my mind how I want to break him down. As you guys see in each and every one of my fights, when you give me adequate time to be able to focus on a guy, it's pandemonium when I step inside that octagon.
Okay, so I thought it was pretty awesome because I also saw there was a lot of talk about, you're going to fight Burns. He's your ex-teammate, so he's going to know how you fight. He's going to know your style. And eventually, if you look at the fight, it went totally different than what most people expected. What was your mindset going to that fight?
Yeah, that's the thing is I've said it before. In this division right now in the world, no one's mind is like my mind when it comes to competing in that welterweight division. And yeah, guys might feel like, I felt the guy before. I trained with him for years. I fought him once before. I am different each and every day. I grow each and every day. I get better each and every day. And in that fight with Burns, we hadn't trained together for about almost a year, a little less than that, leading up to that fight. So people don't realize how much I grow and how fast I grow. And so the whole mindset, they were thinking, okay, we know how we know where he's strong here. We know he's good here. So we're just going to try to negate that. But they don't realize I'm playing chess, not checkers. I'm already I'll already be clicking down here and putting things together on how I'm gonna run through this fight. And it showed out there once I got out there.
We have another question from Connor. He says, Usman, I saw your story yesterday training with Doug Rose. How's her training going for her?
Doug Rose. Connor Rose Namajunas is she's one of the special fighters. She's special in the way that she I mean, this is it. This is her life, is fighting. And she's just special. Every time I watch her, I'm so blessed to be able to watch her compete, watch her train, and just watch her prepare for competition. She's all around spectacular fighter, and I think it's going to show when she steps in there. I mean, we saw how the world perceived Joanna Jędrzejczyk. She was a killer. She was a monster. No one could touch her. And Rose went out there and did it twice, back to back. And, I think this is going to be an amazing fight. I like Wei Li as well, but Rose is a special fighter.
Question from Sam. He says, what's the biggest difference in skills you are working with Trevor compared to your old gym?
The biggest difference with Trevor is it's one-on-one. Like, I go in the gym 3-4 times a week, and it's just me and him, one-on-one training. To where in the gym where I was before, we have a huge gym with 40, 50 guys on the mats at one time, which is great because you have a lot of different bodies and you get to, feel all these different guys and experience them. So that's always great for when you're up and coming and you're growing in the sport. But once you get to a certain space like I'm in, the attention has to be a little more focused, has to be a little more detailed in order to be able to continue to grow and continue to excel at the highest level and prepare for the biggest, baddest dudes on the planet each and every time when you fight. And Trevor had that time for me. He was willing to give me that time to where my old gym, I wasn't going to get that time. And I understood it. So that's one of the biggest differences that I see.
That's pretty awesome. Next question in line is from Brishan. He said, who do you think is better, Colby or Masvidal?
Rashawn, that is an excellent question. Without a doubt, I think that Colby Covington is a better all-around fighter. Colby Covington is probably, I would say, top 20 pound-for-pound fighters in the organization. Quite possibly might be pound-for-pound top 25 best fighters of all time in the UFC. So, I respect each and every opponent that's willing to have the courage to step inside that octagon. So, respect for him. But as a person, as an individual, I think he's a rotten person. But as a fighter, he's very skilled.
We have a question from Michael. He says, Kamaru, we saw your video after the first fight against Masvidal. You were disappointed. Can we expect a knockout this time, or any tips in your game plan?
Yes, good question as well. In the video, I was disappointed, and the reason I was disappointed is I have very, very high expectations for myself. I know a lot of people think, oh, you're the champion, anything, you just want to stay the champion. No, it's not just necessarily about the championship for me. Yes, of course, that's what I worked my life for. But at the end of the day, I care about my performance. That's the biggest thing for me. I care about my performance. And it's in that fight, I knew what I was dealing with, as I mentioned earlier. Having a busted nose, having issues walking, and issues making the weight, cutting that weight, and on 6 days' notice, flying all the way around halfway across the world. I wasn't too satisfied with that, and it's just something that I like to do with guys. When I fight somebody, I want to break their soul. I want to break them on the inside to where when we're done as a man, that's what the term when they say mano y mano, that means something to me. But when you go head up with another man in the combat that you guys are both trained in, and that guy breaks you, and there's nothing you can do physically, nothing you can do, it changes the dynamic in your mind moving forward for the rest of your life. And I didn't feel like I fully got that satisfaction. So, that's what I'm after this fight. I'm after the satisfaction. However I beat him up, I'm after that satisfaction.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Well, we're really looking forward to it. We're 15 minutes in the Q&A, and I just want everyone who's tuning in, make sure you guys like and also subscribe to the channel. And we have a great question from Colin. He says, does your daughter has a say in your walkout song? He says he always see you guys singing in the car. So probably seen some of your Instagram stories. What are your thoughts about that?
That's a good question. Not yet, because she doesn't care enough yet.
Okay. Does she
My
watch your
daughter,
fight just in between? Does she watch your fight?
she watches my fights, and
Okay.
she will be at this fight as well.
Okay.
And
Wow.
this will be her second fight of mine that she's going to be present for.
Okay.
And
What was the first one? Just curious.
the first one was when I fought Tyron Woodley, when I won the title.
Okay. Wow. That's a great one.
She came to that one, and this one she will come to this one as well. Not yet. She doesn't care enough yet as far as understanding that aspect of the game and what goes into it. She doesn't care enough.
Okay.
But I think if I continue to compete, and I would say another year or two, she might understand more, and I think she might start to give her input. You know, my daughter, she's a lady, so of course women like to give their input, and I'm sure she's gonna give her input, and I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Well, I can question that, like, how does she feel like when you come home? You say, okay, daddy just won his championship, or daddy defended his belt. Is it like something like a ritual or something big that happens, or maybe a party afterwards, or is it just back to usual dad life and that's it?
For me, yes, it's just back to it's for me. I'm excited to come back because weight is off. I went out to accomplish a mission, and I got it accomplished. So, you know, what we love to do is we like to have a movie night, and you know, that's us ordering Thai food, sitting there eating some Thai food and watch a movie, whatever she wants to watch. We get to just be on the couch, be in each other's space, enjoy each other's energy, and we get to just watch. Something, and so we get to just enjoy each other's space, and we get to just watch something, and that's the most important thing for me. But for her, she doesn't care whether I won or I lost. Yeah, of course she's happy, but at the end of the day, I'm still daddy. If she needs something, she doesn't care whether you just won a belt. She's not gonna say, "Daddy, you know what? You don't have to do anything for me today.
She doesn't
You won
care.
your fight. You can relax." She doesn't care.
It's business as usual once you're home.
Yeah, she's
Nice,
still
man.
my daughter, and she doesn't care.
Well, next question in line is from MMA Island. He says, what's your opinion on Stephen Wonderboy Thomas?
I'm guessing they mean Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. My opinion on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is, I mean, he's a great fighter, a very, very good fighter, stylistically. Probably one of the only ones to really go out and show how good you can use karate in mixed martial arts.
Okay.
He's a great fighter, but like I said, I'm just above, you know, some of these guys right now. That's it. He's had 2 cracks at the title against Tyron Woodley, who I just basically made look like a rookie. And so, you know, if he does something spectacular and he gets into the public eye, into the media where people really demand to see that fight, then, you know, of course we'll try to give him a shot. But, you know, right now it's just he's another, you know, good fighter in the welterweight division.
We have another question from Bianca, and she says, what would you say is the biggest challenge you ever had to endure mentally throughout your fighting career? And how did you overcome it?
Bianca, good question. I would say one of the biggest challenges is right after I got through the Ultimate Fighter, and I believe right before my first UFC fight. My first fight, I would say my second fight, because the first fight was the finale this in the UFC, and the second one I would say right before the second fight. That year, I had knee surgery, microfracture surgery, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard about that surgery, but it's not a fun surgery, and I mean a lot of doctors don't do it anymore. But I was advised to do the surgery, and I did, and it changed the course of my career for forever, to this point. Um, Leading up to that fight, I believe the opponent was Leon Edwards, and leading up to the fight, there were certain times I'll be leaving practice, coming to my house, and I couldn't walk from the car into the house just because my knee was so bad. And I think mentally I fell into a space to where every day I was thinking my career just started and it's already ending. That I can't. I have big plans to be the champion and do all these things, but I can't even, because I can't even walk anymore. And it's my second professional fight. And I think being in that dark place, and somehow I made it to the fight, won the fight. Somehow I was able to get rehab and rehabilitation on it and get better. But I would say that was one of the biggest struggles that I've had to endure in my career.
Yeah, I can understand. And how did that fight go that year? Just curious.
That fight went good, obviously.
It still went good.
Yeah, it went good. It's just one thing. That's what I say. My will is I amaze myself each and every time with my will and how I'm able to endure and overcome and get through. I surprise myself every time, because in that fight, I barely could walk all through that training camp. And then I go in the fight and I'm watching it over. I'm like, how did you turn into that guy? Yeah. Mentally you get in there and you're a different person. I don't understand it in myself. I still don't understand it to this day, but I just got to trust the process.
Great. Well, I see a nice question from and he says, question, champ, are you observing the holy month of Ramadan? And if so, how does it affect your camp?
Of course, I'm observing, but right now it's almost impossible for me to fast and prepare for something that's big. I was born Muslim, and of course, absolute respect to it. So, my father is going to be fasting for me, preparing for this.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just almost impossible to be able to get through training while you're fasting through, but with absolute respect, and trying to continue to pray throughout.
Okay, I understand. So, have you ever tried? Because you're already currently on a strict diet, I presume, to make the weight. Do you think it would be doable to mix it up with like Ramadan style with your training and the diet, or would you say no? This a no go. This is not possible for me to combine both.
This the thing. Anything is possible, but the thing you have to realize is if you're gonna train for something, like people train during the day, this is training times, and so during the day the sun's up, and so if you're gonna train during the day, you have to be able to fuel yourself, because you can't do it if like the human body doesn't work like that. If you're gonna burn energy, you have to replenish, or you're damaging your body. So basically, in order for that to work, I would have to flip everything, train at night, and sleep during the day, which it can be done, of course, but this is not just an individual sport. I'm going to need training partners. I'm going to need guys. So now you have to be responsible for having those guys train at nighttime, throughout the nighttime, and not during the day. And I train 2, sometimes 3 times a day. And so training 2, 3, sometimes 3 times a night, having these guys stay up is just not normal right now. And it's, not doable right now. But, nothing is impossible. With the proper adjustments, I think it can be doable.
Well, Kane Mamba wants to know, good day, champ. Is there a chance you can tell Masvidal to put on his BMF belt on the line too? You deserve the belt. Good luck on your fight. We'll support you all the way. Much love, champ.
Thank you. Good question, but I've said it over and over and over, and people just for some reason are don't understand. That was it's like if you, let's say, Kevin, it's like if you enter you're walking down the street and there's a big pull-up challenge. You enter the competition in the pull-up challenge, and you're like, oh well, I could do that. Let me try some. And you do it, and then they have the leaderboard, the guy that has the most done, and you do some, but you didn't get to the, you didn't beat the record, but you did some, and you're about to leave, and they're like, oh, well, before you leave here's this for participating, here's this medal. That's what that belt is.
You see it as a participation medal.
It's just a participation. It's just a medal for participating in UFC 244. That's all that is. That's not a real belt, because if it was a real belt, how do you defend the belt? Is it just one belt? It makes no sense. If you can right now, you can ask Siri, who is the BMF champion of the world? BMF? Siri doesn't know that. But you ask Siri, who is the UFC undisputed champion of the welterweight champion of the world? Siri's going to tell you, Kamaru Usman. And so,
that's dope,
that's
man.
it's just a little participation thing. It means nothing. It was a cool thing that they did for him, but that's his claim to fame.
Okay. We have an upcoming fighter here. He would like to know, his name is Jason Grace, and he would like to know, I think he would say, ask him about his current diet. How does your diet look like? And any advice you can give to someone new and an upcoming fighter.
Jason, man, my advice that I would give to an upcoming fighter. First and foremost, my diet is it's been tweaked a lot over the years, but it's also big shout out to Clint Wattenberg out at the UFC PI. I work with him closely, and Clint's he knows my body to where over the years I have shaped my body and groomed my body to where I'm the perfect size welterweight. As far as fat ratio, as far as muscle ratio, and preparing for these fights, I am right at that threshold that I'm a perfect size for welterweight. And so Clint makes sure that I stay on that plan. Like with my diet, everything stays accordingly. And also, it's just the way that I train. The diet complements the way that I train. And so with that, you just have to, everyone, it's going to be different from everybody, because not everyone has the same body type that I have. And so you got to find something that works for you and build upon that. But as far as advice that I would give a young, up-and-coming fighter, the same thing that my mom used to tell me when I was young. My mom being Nigerian, she would always yell at me, Rome wasn't built in a day. Don't you understand? Rome was not built in one day.
I understand.
So as I got older, I start to understand what that means. When you first start training, of course, you're not very good at the skills. The mechanics aren't there. The punches don't look as fluid as you see on TV, as you see Mike Tyson, or you see these boxers look fluid or these MMA fighters with the kicks and everything. It's not the same. It doesn't look that way. But guess what? You keep working on it each and every day. It gets more and more fluid. It gets more and more fluid until you get to a certain point, a year, 2 years, and you're looking at yourself. You look at 2 years ago, you look like this, to where now, boom, 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 everything is straight. It takes time to develop those mechanics. And so it's just a matter of understanding that it's not going to happen in one day. As long as you continue to put in the time and the work and the effort, you're going to get good at it. And this is one advice that a quote that someone always said, and I realized it. You can come in right away throwing punches, and you could throw punches horribly. But as you continue to train how to throw punches horribly, guess what? You're going to get good at throwing punches horribly at some point.
Yeah.
You can get good at that. So Rome wasn't built in a day. You just have to understand that things take time to develop.
Well, we have time for two final questions. One of the questions is from Yono. It says, how did you develop your jab? I heard from Joe Rogan saying you're one of the most effective punches in UFC, which was pretty clear from your last fight with Burns. So I think he wants to know about how did you develop that great jab of yours?
I developed the jab just first. It was a natural thing for me. Because when I first decided that I was going to learn how to fight, I didn't know how to throw punches, but I knew how to throw a jab. I just, boom, one punch. Because it's there, it's closer to you, just stick it in the face, boom, and run away. Hopefully, if you got in the street fight, you jabbed them good, boom, gave you some time, you could get out of there. But over the years, you start to develop it. You hit the bag, you're working on it, on the bag. And something that my old trainer and I, Henry Hoof, we would work on. Henry is very basic in his approach to fighting, and it's keeping things simple. And Trevor Whitman elaborated on that to where now Trevor attached the footwork with keeping things simple, to where things that I still do is simple. It's not necessarily complex, but finding the timing and knowing when to mentally apply them, that's what's most complex. And, now that, my new coach, Trevor, has put the footwork in with those simple fundamentals that I have, it's looking like, it's looking like $1 million each and every time when I step in there now. So, that's kind of one of the most effective ways that I've been able to, develop and just hone my jab.
Well, thanks for the answer, because it's a pretty good one. We have a final question, so let's make sure this is a good one. From Hamza. So final question. Will you be willing to have a match against Khabib? And if so, how do you think this fight would pay out?
Hamzat, good question. Unfortunately, no, because there's just there's certain people in the sport that you meet, you just know their heart, and you just understand that this is it becomes more than just sport. Of course, as far as competing, of course we all want to compete, but certain people you meet to where it's bigger than just that. It's there's just certain people that you meet and you realize that it's bigger than that. And that's the case with Khabib. Why would we need to fight? We're both the best at what we do in our respectful weight. We like each other. We know each other. We're friends. And he gets money. I get money. So what would be the purpose of going out and first of all, putting each other through a training camp before we even get to a competition, a fight, putting myself through a training camp for a friend like Khabib and having him put himself through a training camp for me, that's just, I wouldn't want to do that at all. And so, I wouldn't want to fight him. Absolutely. And he's crazy. I know he's crazy. This guy was wrestling bears when he was a kid. Yeah. I'm crazy too, but he's crazy.
Okay, crazy, man. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the viewers for this amazing opportunity. I want to thank you as well. Currently rocking the Kamaru Usman shirt, so make sure you guys coop it on GorillaWeight.com. We really love this style. We love the quality. So if you want to support the cause, make sure you check GorillaWeight.com. Usman, thank you very much for your time. I know you're just currently a few days out. Just like you said, you're already tired of the workouts. You want to get into the octagon and just get the fight over with. Team Gorilla is backing you all the way through. We really hope you're going to enjoy the fight and also be successful in the fight, because it's always nice if you enjoy what you're doing. And I hope you can that you can fulfill this mission, the urge for you to really break him down the way you said it. So I'm really looking forward to that, or to your upcoming fight. After the interview, yeah, you can stick around so we just have a little chat. And we really want to thank everybody. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, sorry for the minor technical difficulties we had in the beginning. It happens. As you can see, it's live, so there's no way we could hide it or anything. So it happened. So we want to set our apologies for that. Make sure you join us next time. We have our live Q&A. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. So till next time, have a nice day.
All right. I appreciate